Hello guys, it's Sunday, so here is your weekly dose of urban news. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and as always, a massive thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters and everyone else who keeps this going. Today we have some positive news from Tirana. I've heard a lot about how slow the trams are there, and it seems that the city has finally decided to do something about it. They are beginning to set up dedicated lanes for public transport on some of the busiest streets. And as a result of the construction works, the central lanes in the north and south directions on Bathurst Street between Bathurst Station and Lakeshore Boulevard will be converted into dedicated lanes. The city also plans to install public transport lanes on Bathurst Street, but no exact date has been announced yet, although it is known that this should be done before the 2026 World Football Cup. This change will reduce the number of car lanes to one in each direction and eliminate street parking. The news has been welcomed by passengers who hope it will help make tram travel faster and more reliable. However, some local businesses are concerned that the loss of street parking will hurt their sales. Well, of course, if you look at Google Street View, you can see that the area is completely empty and there are simply no customers to be found. They can only come by car from far away.
And according to some, the reduction in vehicle traffic might put their business in a hot spot.
The traffic's going to be brutal. It's going to certainly hurt traffic in terms of businesses, and alleviating parking is also going to be a big time hurdle.
You know, if only it were possible to build residential buildings close by so that their residents could walk to the restaurants. Oh wait. In general, this plan, which is part of the Rapid TO project in Toronto, has already met with some resistance. Several petitions have been launched stating that the elimination of street parking will threaten the economic and social infrastructure of the areas affected. Some critics of the project are proposing a compromise whereby the designated lanes would only operate during rush hour and would be accessible to everyone at other times. And by the way, I found the opinion of Dutch urban planner Ruben Lunderslot about such ideas.
No, my opinion is not that it's a good idea, because I saw experiences in other countries where they say that these lanes are only available on some hours, and on the other hours people use it as a parking spot or whatever. And not everybody is gone on the moment that the lane should be open again for public transport. So then you get a very difficult situation in enforcing this. Second thing is that the lanes are needed, especially in the peak hours. So on the non-peak hours, let's say between 10 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, you can have 3 lanes in one direction, but you don't need them anyway. And so, I mean, you could say, let's say between 10 and 3, the bus lane is not a bus lane anymore, but it's a lane for everybody, but there's not so much traffic at 11 o'clock in the morning that you need the 3 lanes. So making a bus lane which is changing, or a public transport lane which is changing a few times a day is unclear to car drivers, or some car drivers will misuse the fact that the bus lane is not always a bus lane. So I would say dedicated bus lane all the time.
Overall, I think it is very important project, but looks like it will be more difficult to defend it than to build. Meanwhile, Polish company Solaris is expanding its presence in the US, as after Seattle, San Francisco has also added 6 of its electric buses. The order includes 3 12-meter and 3 18-meter articulated units. The technical parameters will be similar to those used in Seattle, with the exception of the operating and payment processing system, which will be adapted to the needs of San Francisco. And in accordance with the local standards, buses for the US will be made slightly uglier than their European siblings. Overall, Solaris is the European leader in the production of electric buses and trolleybuses, and its technology is used in more than 30 countries. So far, the company has signed contracts to supply battery-powered buses to Seattle in the US and the trolleybuses to Vancouver in Canada. The French city of Tours has unveiled the design of new CAF trams that will operate on the future Line B, which is currently under construction. Now the city uses Alstom cars, aka iPhones on rails, so everyone was very much waiting for the design of the new ones. As a result, their appearance follows this style, although with some changes. The front is now more sharp to meet new safety standards, and also drivers will have a wider field of vision to avoid accidents. The roof of the new trams will house batteries, cause in the center of Tours there is an Alstom ground power supply system that is not compatible with CAF wagons, so the new cars will run on battery power in these areas. The interior will be changed based on the experience of the first generation cars. There will be 12 fewer seats, but more space for wheelchairs, strollers and bicycles. The total capacity will be 280 passengers, which is equal to 4 buses. The length and width will remain unchanged compared to the current model. In total, the city will receive 19 such trams, which will be delivered from 2027 and will complement the existing fleet of 21 cars. Meanwhile, Dutch Railways and Stadler have signed a contract for the delivery of 36 new FLIRT trains. They will enter service in 2030 and will be built at the Stadler factory in Siedlce, Poland. Under the agreement, NS will receive 18 4-car and 18 6-car trains, which will join the 134 FLIRT trains already in service in the Netherlands. Of course, they will have a spacious, accessible interior with special areas for luggage, bicycles and strollers, as well as seats for passengers with reduced mobility. Also, the lighting system automatically adjusts brightness and color temperature according to external conditions, time of day and season, creating a pleasant travel atmosphere. Architecture company MVRDV has won the design contest for the new sports palace in Albania's capital Tirana with its proposal for a 100-meter diameter sphere called the Grand Ballroom. The mixed-use complex will include a 6,000-seat arena for basketball and volleyball, as well as residential apartments, hotel and shops on the ground floor. The lower half will feature hotel rooms and shops around the basketball arena with apartments and inner courtyard above them. By the way, I'm curious if there will be enough light for these trees inside. Overall, it's a quite interesting concept, which reminds me of a Markthal in Rotterdam, which by the way was also designed by MVRDV. Thanks to the rounded shape, it was possible to avoid creating a back facade that would ignore the surrounding environment. Also, the narrowing of the building towards the base creates more space for public areas and opens sports facilities that local residents can use. At the same time, narrowing at the top creates terraces for the building's residents. By the way, I wonder how comfortable it will be to live right above the sports arena where 6,000 fans will be cheering, especially if you are not a basketball fan. A few days after the Sarmiento train derailed near Liniers station, the Argentine government announced the purchase of 43 new trains, which will take $300 million to upgrade transportation in the Buenos Aires metropolitan area. By the way, the capital's passenger system, which transports 1.3 million people daily, hasn't received new trains since 2015. The future purchase includes 150 passenger cars that make up the trains, as well as supply of spare parts for 3 years. The main goal is to significantly modernize the railway fleet and improve safety, reliability, and efficiency of services. The new trains will be put into service on the Roca, Mitre, Sarmiento, San Martin, and Belgrano Sur lines, allowing for the gradual replacement of rolling stock that had been in operation for over half a century. And that's all the news for this time. The links to the news sources, as usual, are in the video description. So thanks for watching and see you in the next videos. And of course, hit the like button, please leave your comments, and don't forget to tell your friends about this beautiful channel.